I had this guy for 4 years with a team option on the 4th. I basically have 2 years to try and turn him into a lottery-like pick. And would he have been a lottery pick if I can get him to move better? If we deem movement quality being something very easy to teach based on our internal R&D.
Why did you pick this person? What's your hypothesis for them? And for any of the pro athlete or pro strength coaches out there, they can start to have that conversation, right?
Yeah, it's such a... the guy who is your boss provides you like minimal definition as to what you're supposed to do. Like, you tell me you hired me, Mr. Coach. You tell me what makes you successful. When I sit down with my athletes, the first thing I say is, look, what would make a successful training 6 months? What would we need to accomplish in order to make you a better basketball player? Because they're the ones, in this case, who are the CEOs who are coming to see me. And that conversation with a coach is, what do you think this athlete can be, will be, and what will make him successful? And the reality is, it's going to force the coach to audit systems. That's why I said general management and basketball, because technically the GM kind of sits overhead, or the president. And like some colleges, you don't really have anyone above the coach, so I understand some of the tyrannical, draconian structures we have going on. But like in the more professional setting, you do have someone who sits above, and we need to have that conversation, because in reality, there's no reason why every athlete should work out for 60 minutes 3 times a week in the weight room. There's zero reason why. Certain athletes might need to spend more time in there, and certain athletes don't need to spend much. Certain guys' careers will never be defined whether or not they squat 400 pounds, but will be defined whether or not they can make 40% from the corner. I know a lot of basketball players who'd give up a step and a half or a step of speed in order to shoot 40% from the three-point line. And when that becomes the factual reality, if I only have a certain amount of time allocated in my day, not all that time needs to be placed with equal emphases. Some of these skills are non-actionable skills. Getting stronger for some athletes, despite whether we like it or not, is not very actionable. I know some of the guys I work with, we've had people come in, look, I have 2 things. I should get my shots up today and work on the court and try to lift. I say, are you kidding? Like, you don't get paid to lift. Yeah, no, don't lift. Dude, get out of here. Go work out. And that's the reality. And people say, oh, Max, the NCAA structure doesn't allow that, so on and so forth. Sure, but that doesn't mean you have to make the kid lift. And maybe there's some creative ways you can do it. And I speak from the outside, so I speak in a perfect realm where it's utopic, and I get to have guys at my house for 9 hours in a day, and that's not always how it works. I get it. But I think we should always start with the most optimal situation first, and then work and scale that down to the setting we're in, and chronically try and do the opposite.
You talk about what you've been doing now. What is it that you're doing for anybody that's not familiar?
Oh, I just take shirtless pictures and try... No, okay, sell some programs. No, unless you might see on the line, that's fine.
That's a different line.
That's a different business.
Yeah.
Cost extra. No, I work with a handful of guys and basketball players. AJ Green in the NBA, Reed Travis overseas. I work with Chasing Randall, Ethan Happ. Great guys. We have a good group of guys out here. And the way I see myself is I'm someone who can help. Performance consultant might be the right word. Performance manager. Because I will help discuss levels of skill. I'll help discuss. We'll go through shot profile. I'll go through. I've watched every single shot AJ Green has taken the past 2 years, and we talk and watch basketball film. Just like basketball out in a G League hat and a jersey, which is comical, I guess, now that I say it out loud. But we watch film, and we talk about basketball, and we talk about how to make them better at basketball, because it's a very rare opportunity in their life where they're in a situation where they can make the most possible money they can in a given period of time. Playing one more year is more money than I'll ever make in a year. Just playing one more year. And so we have a lot of these conversations, and they allow me to go into all the skills, and we work with stuff in detail. Everything down from if it's finding them the right nutritionist, finding the right massage therapist, finding them the right Pilates person, all the way to I've been on calls with agents and coaches and whomever it might be. So they've blessed me with a wonderful opportunity to be very involved in what they do. And it's nothing of what you really see on social media. That's one aspect of my life. And I think people are like, oh, you just post videos of you jumping with a band. Sure, that's cool, but like I have another a value performance side, an economics performance side that I very much enjoy. And we talk about analytics and aspects of what we can do there, everything down to we've done like, understanding for a certain athlete, an AJ or Reed or whoever it might be, what are the actual specific profiling to make them the best basketball player they can. What would that be as a team effort? We collaborate on it. We sit down and discuss these actions they typically work, these movement patterns. Then it's my job. I can put into words physiologically what they typically can. An athlete will say, I feel like I'm getting stuck. What is that? I don't know what that means. Let's go film it. Let's watch some of the actions. And I think it has a lot to do maybe with their hip positioning and certain defensive high hedges on a ball screen. So we go and work on that. And that's the end of I'm just trying to help them be the best basketball player they can be. Not the best guy in the weight room, the best basketball player. It might involve weight room stuff. It might involve talking to their skills coach. It might involve being wherever I can be to help them. It's different than obviously most people can even do because I'm in a very privileged situation where I can have that with my time I have. And we'll take 5-6 guys and they'll come over and we have breakfast in the morning at 8:30 a.m. I make pancakes and eggs. We sit down and talk about our day. We have the first workout in the morning, and we're all discussing, trying to figure out what you need to do, what our plans are. It's an active team effort. We'll typically play Call of Duty at some point in the middle of the day, typically Black Ops, and we play Zombies because it's very fun, or Nuketown, and it gets really competitive. We have no workouts before 8 a.m. Actually, no workouts before 9:30 a.m. You need to sleep, go to bed, you're pro. You don't need to wake up at 6. I've kicked people out of a workout because they've worked out too hard the day before. I've had guys drive down, and they have had some aches and pains, so we just played video games. I'm not trying to do something because I feel any pressure to do it. I try and really treat them as if they're my brother or myself. And let's really sit down and try and... This is a really cool opportunity for me to see how good I can be. How good am I actually? How good can I be to actually help somebody? It's about them. And how much of a resource can I possibly be? My ultimate goal is to be an assistant GM. I'm not sure if that'll ever come to fruition. I'd love to be in management. I wouldn't want to be in... actual performance as much as I appreciate you performance people. I think the economics of being assistant GM with the physiology and the ability to understand like basketball and value extraction and hypothesis modeling and value mapping within that and trying to put together like how do we really get the most out of these guys that we select, who are undervalued in the market. If I have a two-way guy that I can get to play at a $1.5, $2.5 million playing scale and they're paid $500K right now, I've already saved our team more money than they pay the entire performance staff. Like, that alone would pay for the performance staff. And so, when you start to look at the economics of the sport, it's really screwy because we pay people such no money here, but you can actually get huge margins on guys who are on the market. I got a guy who's on a 4-year, $12 million contract. If I get him for 2 years in the back end of that, and I can get him to play at a $6 million guy a year versus a $3 million guy a year, I have now saved $6 million of capital within that. And so you can start, it's fun, but you can do that as a hypothesis beyond just performance and analytics, but also skill sets. So if you have a team like Patrick Baldwin was drafted by the Warriors in like the 24th pick, or maybe less than that, later than that. He's an interesting athlete. He tested the lowest in all of his G League combine scores, one of the slowest athletes, but he's 6'10" and can shoot the ball. So then you can start to contemplate, is it easy to resolve the speed issue? Because maybe teaching someone to shoot a basketball is really difficult. And they have a value within shooting the ball that is only, it's lessened because they're not physically athletic enough. But based on our internal auditing and internal research and development, that's actually really easy to fix. So that person getting drafted in like the 28th pick was actually wildly underdrafted based on our own performance modeling. I had this guy for 4 years with a team option on the 4th. I basically have 2 years to try and turn him into a lottery-like pick. And would he have been a lottery pick if I can get him to move better? If we deem movement quality being something very easy to teach based on our internal R&D, then that's going to derive a lot of value. Or maybe the inverse is true. I can teach someone to shoot. I just get a bunch of freak athletes. I can teach them to shoot. And so now we're looking at the economic value beyond just the statistics and like saying this guy shoots these shots and he makes this at this probability, but what aspects of his performance are actually undervalued because of certain physiological limitations that are easily to resolve, or very easy to resolve. And so it brings up an interesting conundrum there, and you can see it like the Princeton beats Arizona. And I brought this debate, and people got really mad about it. Big March Madness. I picked that game, by the way. Come on, Max, let's go. I made a podcast about it, talked all about it. I said FDU was going to put a scare into Purdue, and they beat them. Arkansas was going to beat.
Congratulations on making it to the end of the video. Why don't you celebrate by watching more videos just like it? You can also help us on our quest to placate the algorithm gods by liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. Thank you.